starting our engines. And maybe, and here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ready!
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show, where we highlight misfits, outcasts, and renegades for the being good and doing good movement. We spotlight people that are changing the world by having integrity and honesty and creating an environment of connection, thus showing the true secret to success and creating a life of greater impact. So come on board and create your own Biz for Good life.
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show. I am your host, Bobby Glenn James, along with the Ryan Pilkington.
It has been a rough day, let me tell you.
Okay, folks, you may have noticed Ryan has a new face today. We are welcoming a guest host today, Brandon Uccio, ladies and gentlemen, from the Fandom Podcast. A good friend, an amazing gentleman. Thank you for impromptu showing up for the show.
Yeah, I will be on your show anytime you let me. It's always fun with you, Bobby.
Awesome. Ryan unfortunately had a pet emergency and had to leave. His dog has eaten a whole pill of I'm not sure what he ate, but it's not good, and so he had to rush to the vet. So thank you, Brandon, for stepping in.
Yep, thank you.
Well, with that said, what is today? Today is episode 85. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 85, The Millennial Business Revolution with IVYE and Dax Francis. We have an amazing guest, of course, today, Mr. Dax Francis. It's going to be awesome, of course. He's doing some amazing stuff. He's going to tell you all about it. It's going to be fantastic. And what is the Biz for Good Show, do you ask, Brandon?
I do ask that. What is the Biz for Good Show?
What is the Biz for Good Show? It is two fun, adventurous entrepreneurs sharing their experience of the real secret to success, doing all things with a be good and do good mindset. There is too much bad noise in the world. Let's fight against the noise and flood the world with good. You can find us on Instagram, Insta, Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, all of the magical, wonderful places, social media. Boom. Find us anywhere you can.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Anywhere and everywhere. And let's talk about Dax. It should be a little lower.
Up.
You know what's interesting? So Ryan was going to give Dax's bio, and he must have it somewhere, but it is not up here on the screen. So we're actually going to bring Dax on, and he's going to tell us about himself.
Hang on.
Oh,
I
wait.
think I found it.
Oh, Brandon has it.
I'm going to read something off of Ryan's computer, and maybe this is what he wants me to read, maybe not. So we'll find out. So it started in 2003 at the young age of 12. When Dax was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome, which is a disorder that causes the body to excrete too much protein in the urine, and then later focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. That's what I get for reading it live.
Good job, though.
FSGS. I'm gonna stick with that. A rare disease that attacks the kidneys filtering units, which are the glomerule, causing serious scarring. Dax's FSGS, it looks like Ryan was going to do that same trick, eventually progressed to end-stage renal failure. So at age 18, Dax began dialysis, a college student traveling 2 hours each way for dialysis treatment. It became apparent that Dax had to put his studies on the back burner. These late teen and early years for Dax were dominated by grueling dialysis treatment, and he said, "My first reaction to dialysis was shock. Even though I had chronic kidney disease, even though I had been a chronic kidney disease patient for 6 years at the time I started dialysis. Everything was new, everything was scary. The first signs that Dax was a warrior were evident when he fought through his treatment." Dax describes the first couple months of living on dialysis as absolute torture. Every morning seemed worse than the one before, and the nausea was one of the hardest things to get used to. I don't know if you can ever get used to that. He says, I struggled to eat enough to sustain my body. It is very hard to force yourself to eat when the thought of food only makes you sicker to your stomach. It's a vicious cycle that is very hard to cope with at first. In addition to the many physical side effects of dialysis that Dax adjusted to, he also struggled with the emotional toll it took on him. For the longest time, I shut everyone out and pushed everyone away. I created a vacuum of depression and sadness. Dialysis changed me in a way that I felt no one understood. I looked the same, in fact, due to weight loss, or better, in fact, due to weight loss, but inside I was dying. But once again, Dax took his challenges head on and not only continues to survive, but to grow as a person while he's doing it. I used to hide the fact that I was on dialysis, and now I proclaim it proudly because it's something that not everyone can do. As chronically ill patients, we should always take pride in what we go through every day. It takes strength. The scroll a little bit.
We're getting the whole thing, aren't we?
It takes strength, fortitude, and willingness to fight against the adversity thrown to you. I'm trying to see. I don't know if he meant to highlight all of this, but there was all that highlighted. So
that was he was
all right.
Going to read. Well, let's learn some more about Dax. Dax, come on in. Come on down to the. Oh man, sometimes we have some sound effects. Welcome to the show, Dax. How are you doing? So you guys may notice there's a person walking around the room, and she asked if it's okay if she's being filmed, and of course it is. She just showed up here and decided that she would do Instagram for us. No, that's not. And so how do you say your name? Ileana. Ileana is interested in assisting us at the Biz for Good show, and we invited her down to see if she really wants to put up with these crazy people.
Today is a crash course.
And she's already got a phone in her hand doing stuff, so that's pretty darn cool. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, absolutely. Ileana, right?
Yes.
Ileana, I said it right?
Yes.
Very good, okay. All right, Dax. I'm asking the first question, aren't I?
Yes, you've got the first one.
I've got the first one. So what is, Dax, what is the single biggest motivator behind your company right now? And we haven't talked about your company, so maybe give us a quick definition, or tell us a little bit about your company, and then let's dive into that question, your biggest motivator for creating it.
Yeah, absolutely. My company, IVYE, we are the creators of comfortable, accessible clothing for chronic illness patients. And we are developing a line of clothing that has sweatshirts, sweatpants, and t-shirts for right now that has zipper access that accommodates a range of medical treatments and procedures.
Oh, wow.
So a person can go into the hospital or go to a treatment room or a clinic or doctor visit, anything like that, and be able to wear our clothes, go in there and be comfortable and dignified, not have to strip down for even the littlest thing as a blood pressure cuff. They can keep clothed and warm and dignified. And the biggest motivator behind the company is the fact that I've struggled with cold my entire life, pretty much going in and out of the hospital, dealing with treatments and doctors and visits and everything that entails. It's extremely excruciating, and it takes away your humanity as a person when you know all you have to do is just be warm, but you can't do it because you're sitting in a hospital bed or a chair that's uncomfortable or whatever it may be. And really the biggest motivation is to help people who are in similar situations feel hope and feel that there's someone out there listening to them and that there's a company out there that actually cares for them. Because when I started this company, it wasn't to just make $1 billion, because I don't believe that should be the goal of any business. It should be to help the community that they serve.
Absolutely. It's the whole Biz for Good life.
Absolutely.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So when did you wake up one day and go, you know what, dang it, I am going to do this for folks like me, because they get to know people care about them and are hearing them?
It was early this year, and I made a decision. I guess you could call it my New Year's resolution for this year, was to be more positive. With the last political election and all the animosity and hate that it kind of brought to the surface of our country, and it's just so ugly, and I was becoming affected by it. I noticed it. I was becoming angry, and I would almost look to fight with people about my opinion and things like that, and I didn't want that to be my life or who I was. So I decided to be more positive, and I did that just by making a video blog while I'm at dialysis to help inspire and motivate.
We watched some of those on your Facebook. Is
Yeah.
it your Facebook or is it Ivy? Or is it your personal Facebook?
It's a personal Facebook. Yeah, and I made a...
So Dax
kind of-
Francis Facebook.
It's under Chronic Perspective, the
Oh.
video blog.
Okay.
I did it under a different name than my personal one.
Mm-hmm.
But I just started to do video blogs in January of this year, just to help people in similar situations feel like they're not alone. And I got a lot of support from the online communities that I'm a part of, support groups and things like that. And it sparked an idea that I could do something bigger, something more with myself and my ideas. And the clothing company kind of was brought to fruition just in a matter of days, and been working nonstop ever since to bring it to life.
I love it. That is super power. You know, we talk about Biz for Good all the time, and we talk about that it should be, you know, just a mindset that we should know. But some of us just come to it and realize it is what's important. Is helping the human race is how we become a better human being.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Absolutely, and that's how we advance our society, and that's how America will get back to being what it once was. We have to be able to listen to each other and know that people are out there for us and not seeking to demean us and belittle us at every chance.
That we care. That we
Absolutely.
care, and the businesses that do care, and that like last week we had a Crazy Richard's peanut butter, and I would have never thought that peanut butter was a big way of giving back in the business, but they are so all about doing good and being good and doing so many powerful things. Companies like that are what's going to change the world,
Absolutely.
that are going to make this world a better place.
Absolutely.
I loved that you were talking about how you're at dialysis, which from people that I've talked to who have gone through that, it's a very isolating thing. You're stuck there, strapped to a machine, and you can't move and you can't leave, and you are all by yourself. And you use technology to connect to other people and say, hey, look, there are other people who are in the exact situation that you are in. And instead of looking at it as well, I'm strapped here and this is my... you know, I'm in prison here. You found an opportunity to reach out and connect to people. I think that's
Super cool.
amazing.
Super cool. My dad was on dialysis for a couple of years before he passed away, and he was my best friend. Growing up, he was just a great man to me, and you know, watching him, I'd go with him to dialysis quite often, and that's a hard gig, man. It's a hard gig. And thank you for making it a little bit better for folks.
Thank you. Yeah.
So-
That's really our goal, is to help people who are struggling and may feel like there's no hope left, that someone's listening and someone cares. Someone's been through it. And because you've been through everything you've been through as a chronic illness patient, you deserve to have everything that anyone else does. You deserve to have happiness. You deserve to be dignified. You deserve to be comfortable. And we really want to help chronic illness patients feel that, because so often in life they just don't.
Wow. So how long have you been on dialysis?
8 years now.
8 years. Wow. Amazing. You're a powerful human being.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that said, we want to ask you a question.
I think you've kind of gone over
He's
some of it
totally-
already. I
yeah,
mean, you're
absolutely.
ahead of the curve here. But what does Biz for Good mean to you?
Biz for Good means that businesses strive to better the communities that they serve. You know, there's millions of businesses around the world, but not too many are focused on bettering the lives of the people that they were originally set up to serve. And when I originally set up IVYE, I wanted it to be a business for the future, in which we are a business for good. We are set up, the 4 pillars of our company are compassion, empathy, kindness, and community. And that's what we believe in. We believe that we can show compassion, show empathy, and be kind to the communities that we serve, and still be a functional and viable business.
And it's a for-profit business.
Absolutely, yes.
That is super cool. You know, in some ways, I think sometimes for-profit businesses can do even more good because they're not scheduled into having to follow too terribly many rules, and you can do whatever you need to do to really assist folks. So thank you for taking that on.
Yeah.
So we like to ask. So what's the future for your business? What are you looking at for the future?
Well, right now our products are still being developed. We're in our second round of prototyping right now. We should officially launch our company with our products within a month or two.
So you have the website up and going.
The
we
website-
saw it. Looks great.
Yep, the website's up and going to get a feel for our values and our vision for our company, and really the feel that we want to have behind it. We wanted to put that up there so people could have a place to go and find hope. And if you go to our website, IVYE.com, you can find...
How do you spell it?
IVYE.com.
IVYE.com. Is
Yep.
that like IV, like you put in to hydrate yourself?
Yeah, when we came up with the name Ivy, it was sort of a play on ivy infusions, as well as the way an ivy plant grows. Because we feel that the way a chronic illness patient grows is like ivy. No matter how many times you get cut back or cut down, you're still gonna crawl up that wall just a little bit every day. And we often feel that that's how chronic illness patients grow. It's a little bit at a time, but we're growing.
I love it. Super, super cool. Awesome. Wow. So what's so you said 2 weeks you're officially releasing the business?
Within a month or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do? Is there anything you want to tell the audience to get a part of the movement, to connect with your business? I mean, what do you need from us?
I would love for people to go and visit our website, ivy.com. You can also find us on all social media channels at IVYWEAR, IVYEWEAR. And really, how you can help us is by listening to chronic illness patients and reaching out a helping hand wherever it's needed. We really want people, or we really want our company to be a model for the future, so that whether you're a business or just an individual, you can come to us and know that the good feelings of compassion, empathy, and kindness can be spread worldwide, no matter what.
I love it. Awesome.
So you said something in there that kind of struck me. You mentioned how you are serving your community, and I think a lot of business people who want to do biz for good go out there and they say, well, there's so much out there that I could do. How could I ever fix it? And analysis paralysis kind of thing. And I think you hit the key, or the nail on the head, not to mix metaphors, but you hit the nail on the head saying that you focused on your community. You're the chronic illness community. And when you focus it down like that, you are able to actually find the way that you can help those and not be so overwhelmed with there's so much wrong in the world. You're like, no, these are the people that I can help. You niched down and you found that. And you found that. I'm looking at the website right now, and these prototypes that you have on the website, the places of the zippers and stuff like that, it just looks like stylish clothes. It looks like the piping that you'd get on like the Nike workout clothes and things like that. But
absolutely.
Having you mentioned that they were zippers, I can tell that after you said that, but not before. So I think that's really cool that you found a group and you said, okay, I can't solve the world. You mentioned the current political climate. You're like, I can't fix all of that, but I can find. I've got this one thing that I can fix, and that's what I'm going to. And that's what I'm going to fix. I think that's awesome. That your movement is like a spearhead. It's not. We're gonna change the world by affecting everybody in the world. We're gonna change the world by piercing it one person at a time in this community and growing from there.
Which I think is a great example of how to use biz for good, because if you do go too big, and there's a lot of companies out there that are on the bandwagon now that we've got to volunteer, or we've got to donate something, we've got to do, and that's kind of a part of being a big company. You have to do your little bit of good for the world. But I think if you're really focusing and really connecting with you and who you are and the brand of your company, you're going to focus on what really matters to you, which also brings clients and customers that become your fans and not just people that buy stuff from you.
Absolutely.
Super cool. Wow, I'm kind of at a loss. And I'm usually not at a loss.
People write this down in the history books. Bobby has nothing to say.
It's just cool. It's cool. I mean, we can feel, I can feel the energy coming off of you, the passion of what you have for this. You've been through it. You've seen that, and you know how much it would mean to you to have somebody care.
Yes, absolutely. And when my 15 years of dealing with kidney disease and 8 years on dialysis, up until this year, I was constantly waiting for someone to come by and help me, for someone to stop and say, you know, this is a really crappy situation, and I'd like to learn what you have learned from this, from your journey. And I just kept waiting and waiting, and no one ever showed up, and I thought, well, I'm going to be that someone that shows up for someone.
Absolutely.
And I started with the video blogs, and it just progressed from there. And I really believe that this company can be a motivator for people just like me who are wondering, what am I going to do in life? I've got this illness. I've got all these problems with me. Nobody wants me in life. There's not a job out there that's demanding of a dialysis patient. So a big motivator was, I want to create that demand for people just like me. I want people to know that there's people out there wanting them and value of what they think and what they say and what they've been through.
So powerful. I usually have tons to say. I guess it's sinking in, and it comes so close to home with me and my dad, and I see the love. You know, it's not just a business. It's a love for those people. It's a love for letting people know that people care about them. And that is the true secret to success. What kind of a life do you want? Do you want to live in a big mansion with really expensive cars, which is great, that's wonderful. But what really matters is how many people you affect. And if it's 2 people that you change their life,
it's enough.
It's enough. It's worth it.
It is.
Well, I'd also say that it's not just love of other people, it's love of yourself, because you're looking at your situation, you're like, I deserve better than this.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, who's got better than this? And nobody had better. And so you said, well, fine. If nobody's going to give it, I'm going to give it to myself because I deserve this. I mean, I would imagine that every single one of those zippers on those shirts are experienced for you, where you've been like, well, this has caused me an issue. We've talked about a lot about dialysis, but you mentioned that it's about chronic illness. How does your work that you're doing apply? I mean, obviously it started with you at your dialysis, but how have you found that it transitioned from your situation to other people with just general chronic illness?
Yeah, that's a great question. And all my years of going in and out of the hospital, it's been more than just dialysis, and I've been around people who have undergone very, very scary treatments, and they've been in very vulnerable positions. When I was undergoing dialysis, in pediatric dialysis, there was a young girl there who had a graft in her upper thigh. So you can imagine a young girl has to be undressed pretty much all the way up to her groin area to receive treatment. That's not fair. You know, a little girl should never have to be exposed to anything like that. And situations like that have stuck with me forever. And I still remember hearing her cry. And I spent a lot of time sitting right next to her in my treatment chair, knowing that she was struggling and knowing that I couldn't do anything about it because I'm in the same situation that she is. And I never want anyone to feel like they're alone like that. And really, we've been able to design our products so that they cover a range of medical treatments. And we want to make them cover as many bases as possible for chronic illness patients. And we hope in the future we can expand our line and have and get into really specific niche communities where our clothes will have very specific zipper placements. But we really wanted to bring something out at first that covers as many people as we could fit. And we really feel that we've designed a product that helps not just dialysis patients, but chronic illness patients as a whole to have more comfortable and accessible clothing, whether they're in a wheelchair and have limited limb movement. Our clothes are perfectly acceptable to help them become clothed more easily. And it goes from dialysis patients all the way to people in wheelchairs and anything in between. And in the future,
chemotherapy and
yes,
all kinds of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And our biggest probably markets will be dialysis and infusion type patients. But really, they're able to accommodate to a range of illnesses or treatments and things like that. So we're really proud that we've been able to design products that cover a range of options for people.
You know, you said something there that you kind of glossed over it, but I don't think you realize it's as important as it was. You said that you saw people in situations. Not everybody does that. A lot of people just go through life with blinders on, and it takes being able to see people and see them and what their needs are to be able to help them. And I really feel like that's part of what makes this so good and just impactful to Bobby and I, who, you know, these clothes aren't going to change our personal lives, but people that we know. Mm-hmm. And it's because you saw them. And that's huge right there. And don't sell yourself short on that, because you're like, well, I was just at the place and I saw these people. And no, you saw them. I think that's huge. That's part of Biz for Good too. Looking at other people, seeing other people,
and through their eyes, and really connecting. And the fact that you've been there is exactly how you relate to them, which is cool. And if we I go back to last week's with the peanut butter thing, because I was still dumbfounded how passionate the peanut butter thing was, and her love of peanut butter, but her love of helping others too. And she talked about peanut butter allergies, or she married a man with a peanut butter allergy. She owns a peanut butter company, and it's about love and caring. And connecting with your people. And it's just cool. Thank you so much for being on the show, Dax. You're a powerful, amazing individual. We look forward to seeing you moving forward, and we want to know what's going on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
With IVYE.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So can you tell us any places where people can go to connect? All of the Facebook, any links, any of that stuff?
Yes,
can you tell us where to go?
You can find our website at ivy.com, IVYE.com, and you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at IVYwear. Same IVYwear across all social media channels.
Very good. Thanks again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So you're going to take us out, Brandon? Do you know how to take us out?
I'm trying to remember how he takes us out.
So we can do hashtag good against the noise or hashtag be good do good 3 times. Which one do you want to do? Be good do good or good against the noise?
Let's do the classics. Let's do be good.
Be good do good. Okay,
All right.
That's a great one. It's a great one. So how we do this is we say hashtag be good do good, and we say it 3 times. The first time we say it, not with that much dramaticness. Then we get a little bit more excited, and then the third one we go crazy. You lead us out, Brandon.
All right. Hashtag
be good, do good.
Hashtag
Be good, do good. Hashtag be good, do good.
And that's a wrap.
Ow, he even got that part. Perfect.